Hey everybody, it's Peter, and in this video we're going to do a complete in-depth review of the all-new Chrysler Pacifica Pinnacle. This is the top-of-the-line minivan from Chrysler, and Chrysler invented the minivan, right? Unless you consider that Toyota did it before that, and Volkswagen did it before that, and let's be honest, it's not a new concept. But Chrysler was known for really their entry-level, family-level type minivans. And I want to see, when we do a review of this, how they compete at the top end of the market. So in this video, we're going to do a complete in-depth review, but before we get going, usually I film outside. Today it's pouring rain. We are here at Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and they give me full access to their product line, and we are going to go through this vehicle in detail. But if you still have a question after this, let me know in the comments below, because I can come back to this vehicle and make sure that we answer your question both in the comments and on a future video. Let's get going with the review. When you talk about a minivan, you have to talk about practicality, but of course the Pinnacle here is also about luxury. So we'll talk about both luxury and practicality in this vehicle, and we'll just start by looking at the front end. Of course, you've got modern lights in here. Those would be LED lights. They are projector beam style. That's top-end SUV type stuff. Down here, you've got your parking sensors, front and rear, which you can get those in any trim level. You've got some of your radar sensors here, which is going to give you some forward collision avoidance, as well as some other functions in there, smart cruise control. You do have cameras all the way around the vehicle, which again, that's what that camera is for. So you're going to have that 360 style camera viewing the entire thing. And then of course, that 360 camera also puts cameras in the mirrors, which you see down here, but we got to make sure those cameras there are flanked by luxury items. And there you go, you've got that silver trim. Up top, you've also got a couple interesting things. We're going to show you the sunroof from the inside, but you've got these very flush-mounted roof racks, and that flush-mounted roof rack actually has a crossbar built in there that you can throw across, so you've got the ability to take your cargo. And why don't we just quickly take a look at the trunk before we jump into the driver's environment, because coming to the back, first of all, before we get to the trunk, oh, it's raining on my camera, you've got the tow package there, which tows 3,600 pounds, comes with the pre-wiring, and what I like about it is it's hidden in here nicely. You've got the 7-pin wiring right there, and the 4-pin wiring built in there cleanly right over there. So 3,600 pound tow capacity, and I should point out, this is an all-wheel drive minivan. You can't get many all-wheel drive minivans. This one's built for the snow. It's a class-leading all-wheel drive system. And I say class-leading because there's really not that much in the class that offers that. Take a look inside. We're going to get to some of the luxury features here. You've got the captain's chair set up, so we're going to talk about stow and go versus no stow and go. And we're also going to talk about these seats in the rear. Now, every seat in the rear of a minivan is difficult to pull up or down. Doesn't matter how counterbalanced they are. And of course, this one solves that problem by making it a powered system. So you can raise them by power. You can raise them left and right individually or both together. You touch one button like this and it starts coming up. So it's very easy to do. You can see that sort of luxury quilted style comes all the way to the third row, and it does everything but put up the headrest all for you. So if you look down here, you've got that nice deep storage well that minivans give you. That's the big difference between getting a minivan versus an SUV. Not only do you have a usable back seat, but when the rear seats are up, you've got this space down here, and the seats are already up. Just a press of a button again, and it comes back down, and buttons are kind of a theme in the trunk here. So we're gonna stow these back like we had them, and we're gonna show you over here, of course, you can shut the trunk, and I like this mounted to the side. So instead of on the door, you just touch it on the side, and that will shut the trunk back down as well. Now let's start with the driver's environment. Heading towards the driver's seat, the first thing you're going to need to do is know what your key does, and your key does a whole lot on here. It's a little bit thicker key, and it says right there, key sense, instead of a Chrysler type thing, so it is showing their advanced key technology. Unlock and lock, you've got double tap to pop the trunk, double tap to pop either door, you've got double tap there to do the remote start, panic button there, and lock as well, and then that gets you inside. Down here is a storage area that you may not see. It's underneath that center console, so that's a great place to stick, a purse or something else easily out of the way. Minivans have to be practical, like we mentioned earlier, and this one is. All right, door shut. Let's take a look at the dash for a second here. So we're not going to start the car up because we are indoors. We're just going to turn to the on position. So everything's going to turn on, but we're not actually going to be turning the car on. So you will see some warning lights stay on, like the engine light there. In here, you've got a nice blue dash. This vehicle is available as a hybrid. A lot of time, hybrid is a blue system, but they do have that just in the regular vehicle here. I'm going to turn the climate system off for a second here. and then we're going to keep going. So what's nice about this Chrysler dash is you've got the traditional gauges left and right, but this entire center thing is very customizable. So you can really change what's on this side, what's on that side. You can put things in the top corners, bottom corners as well. So you can customize the information that you need and also cycle through menus here. So there's your speedometer, for instance, vehicle information. So that is tire pressure set to bar right now. You could set that to PSI, which would be sort of a standard type thing. Driver assist functions, again, this lane keep, lane follow type stuff, lane centering technology that is in this car. So this car is actually fully capable of kind of keeping centered in the lane and doing that kind of thing. And so you have some of those buttons down here with your cruise control as well. So cruise control, again, it can sense the vehicles in front of you in the driver assist type package. So sensing vehicles in front of you can help you keep the distance between you and a vehicle in front of you when you are on that smart cruise control. You've got the voice recognition buttons down here. Again, just a little tweak because some people don't always remember. If you hold this down when you have something like an iPhone paired, it will allow you to activate Siri. If you just touch it instead of hold it, it will activate your car's own system. So you've got two options there. You can hold it down, activate Siri, or if you have a Google phone, you can do the Google system, or you can just touch it and activate the in-car system, depending on what you want to do. And while we're talking about Siri, we should talk about over here, you've got a system that does just about everything. So we're going to do remind me later here. This is your climate system because that's what we had it on. You can go to your home screen here. You can set up your home screen to do a lot of things. Obviously, you've got navigation here. I just want to say one quick thing about glare as well. When the camera fills with one eye, you're going to see a perfect reflection. When you look at it with two eyes, it's kind of a diffused reflection. So although this is a clean screen and there is some reflection, you really don't see it like you do on the camera. It's much, much clearer in person. We've got your navigation set up over here. You've got your radio over there, and you can do all kinds of things. Now it says add device here. I can pair my phone with this, of course. The nice thing is you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in here, but it is wireless. And wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay allows you to, like I said, use that voice control to bring up Siri, activate your Apple Maps if you want to do something different. What I like to do is when I put an appointment into my calendar on my iPhone, I put the address in my calendar as well, and then it's just a one click away or one tap away to take me to that thing. And again, that's something you can tie with your iPhone that you can't do easily with the navigation system here. As you go through media, of course, you've got every media thing, satellite radio, of course. You can also stream music from your phone, do all kinds of things. And let's go to comforts for a second here. So you've got some things that I like and a couple things I don't like. You can do heated and ventilated seats, which is fantastic. The only thing is I don't see the hard buttons for it. Some cars, like my Jeep Wrangler 4xe, still has hard buttons for the heated steering wheel and for the heated seats. This one you have to use the software solution, which is fine. Navigation here, like we talked about, phone there, and then there's some vehicle settings in here as well, and you can really start changing things around. The thing I like, the surround view camera, is that backup camera that gives you that 360 view of the car right here. And then, of course, it sets up just the back view, and you can customize it a lot of different ways. If you just want to look forward there, you can see our Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals logo there. And again, wide angle forward, just off the back, if that's all you want to see. And I got to close that back camera. And then you can do, the 360 and everything right there. Depending on the direction you're going, it can show you in front of you and behind you. So lots of options there. One thing I really like is the fam cam. Fam cam is inside the vehicle. Now remember, we folded down those third row seats, so they're down right now. Again, we're in a darker area, so it's a little bit grainy because camera's filming in the grainy area. But there's your middle row seats over there, your rear seats folded. And again, if you just want to look at your rear seats, you can see them. So that is an interior camera view that allows you to see your people in the vehicle, which I think is a lot of fun. Down here, you've got a dial instead of a gear shift. Now, why do they do this? 1, because they can. 2, because they like the style. And 3, because it clears up the dash, which is quite a nice way to just kind of keep the dash free. We talked about wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. This vehicle is being driven by a dealership employee right now, so just so you know, there are some things in here that's why I didn't want to pull everything out. When we talk about wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, you want a wireless phone charger, which is what you have right down here. Now, you do have the ability to plug in USB-C or USB-A, and USB-C and USB-A there as well. So lots of options, and you can push that, and a nice, clean, kind of luxury kind of feeling. Some piano black in there. Have to wipe that a little cleaner next time, but it is what it is for now. Now let's take a look around the vehicle. So checking out how I fit in this seat, this is a very comfortable seat for a long-term travels. That's kind of what you expect in a modern minivan, but it is very good. Visibility is also very good here. You've got some interesting things like, I don't know if you can see it on this camera angle, there we go. Just the window right here, instead of just this bar, there's an extra little window there, which again, if I was to show you across the vehicle, it does help eliminate a bit of a blind spot in that mirror area. And of course, you've got this panoramic roof. They're doing that in all kinds of SUVs now. Why not do it in the minivan as well? Large opening segment in the front, and of course, the rear segment doesn't open, but it is also very large. Typical minivan stuff with those captain's chairs, but we're going to show you them in just a second because there's a couple tweaks about Chrysler's system that only Chrysler can do, which I think is pretty cool. And we're going to show you some storage as well back there. So let's head back there and show you some of that right now. All right, so all you Chrysler fans are going to get mad at me if I'm wrong, but I am under the impression that these seats in the Pinnacle are not stow and go. I could be wrong. I just assumed every Chrysler had stow and go seats, but these ones don't appear to. And what's kind of nice about those is they give you a lot of comfort, including an extra pillow that's legit a pillow. It's not attached, it can just be moved around. It's got a nice suede feel to the back and feels like real suede, real leather on top. And that quilted pattern kind of matches everything on the vehicle. So you do have very comfortable seats here, which can be adjusted. But because the vehicle is designed for those stow and go seats, you have a large storage area here. And this to me is a huge benefit to this design. The Chrysler seats, when you fold them in, sure, everybody knows about stow and go seats, but what people forget is when those seats are up, you have this massive storage area. If you've got kids along and toys you want to bring, you can do that. But speaking of toys, let's just jump in here for a second. We're going to use the power door here to close that door to keep some of the noise out. And we're going to look in front of us. And I'm going to go wide angle for a second here. This in front of me, what is that? Well, we've got some connections here, but let's pop this up. That is my own personalized video screen, and it's pretty clear. Again, films don't, or cameras don't film screens very well, but this is right in front of me. This is like riding in an airplane, but much nicer. So down here, again, that's where it stows there. You've got the pocket down here, and you can put just a phone down here. If I can sort of, let me just open that door again here. Get some extra light in. So you got just a pocket down here for a phone, a pocket down here for a laptop, tablet, something else. Little hooks here, you can put little bags on, grocery bags, something like that. You've got a little storage spot here. Again, you can put your grocery bags, those kind of things down there if you want. You'll notice there's no vents down in the center console. That's not a concern because you've got vents, as we go still in the wide angle camera here, up to the ceiling here, right above me, right on me. So you've got vents right where you need them in passengers. And because you have these sliding doors, that's how you can hang your extra clothes or anything else you want to hang just behind. You haven't got those big handles there to get in. Now let's come back down to that center console. I'm going to slide out this piece right here. Again, minivans have to be practical. Down here you've got a big storage area and you've got cup holders back here for your rear passenger guests. If you thought only one side got the camera or the screen here, you are wrong. You have a separate display right there. Fire TV kind of built into that one. You can see we're already ready to go on that one. And again, heated seats, nice to have back here as well. So you've got the ability to really get it comfortable back here. A couple things I like that a lot of minivans do, but you don't always think about is in the middle row and the rear seats, you've got these shades. Now the camera does a really good job of sort of correcting, but these do add a lot of shade to the center seats. The other thing they do really well is they allow, if you're outside the vehicle, they give you an extra tint looking in, so you can't see what's in as well when those are up like that as well. A couple things you have back here to point out. You do have your climate control system here. Of course, you can lock that out or allow your rear passengers to do things if they want to. And again, we talked about that camera system. There's that camera in the back, in the center right there is that camera that gives you that fam cam view. And again, there's, again, in the third row, you can put those screens up as well. We didn't even talk about the Harman Kardon sound system, so the speakers through this vehicle are fantastic. You really are driving a luxury SUV without really having that off-road capability. That's what this Pinnacle is. So who is the buyer for this Pinnacle edition of Chrysler's minivan? Well, there's a few things that are interesting about this. If you want all-wheel drive and towing capacity, that's basically the best option in the group because Toyota offers all-wheel drive, but they have a hybrid system, and that doesn't allow you to tow as much. You've got 3,600 pounds of towing, you've got all-wheel drive, and it gives you that minivan practicality with that all-weather ability of an SUV. You also get a fairly reliable engine here. This engine is something that Chrysler has used in absolutely everything, so as far as reliability, it's been around a while. You can get it serviced in absolutely every small town, so if you're doing long road trips, you can be sure that there's a dealer in town to service this and take care of you. Who's it for? It's for families that want a lot of luxury and a lot of technology. Is it right for you? Well, you can let us know. If you're interested in this vehicle, you can come see it at Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And if you have further questions, let me know in the comments below because I can get it back on video. I'll answer your comments in the questions and we'll come back to your questions through other videos as well. Thanks everybody for watching.